Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Online Journal Day 72. So that happened. Things have been interesting for me and I've been pretty busy handling things. So I am not sure where to begin. So the moment everyone saw coming happened. An altercation between Amy and Paris. I was not around for it, but heard about secondhand from Brianna. All of this triggered by my older brother Sebastian finally making an appearance. Amy and I have been working on things and I have yet to set up a session of couples therapy, and she has been continuing her therapy sessions via Zoom. I allowed her to move into my room and I took Bast's, as he decided he didn't want her in his room. Bast's both been cheated on and been a cheater in the past, and he has a far more pessimistic outlook on the world. And he isn't even bothering to pretend to be civil with Amy. He is also mad at me for making peace with London and Paris, whom he claims were quite worse than I remember. He's been over a few times, with his kids, but since I asked him to say nothing too disparaging to any of the girls, he's taken to just ignoring them like a child. This has made Amy feel some kind of way, as she and Bast used to get along. Even Danny's been a bit reserved around her, and apparently she's been confiding in my mother. But Sebastian's behavior, my unwillingness to share a room with her, or go to couples therapy yet, I've repeatedly told her I'm not ready for it just yet, and Paris and London, has her feeling some kind of way. So the fight. Paris has been doing chores around the house for my mom. One of which is laundry. Yes, this all apparently started over laundry, and Paris has been collecting my things and washing them. To be perfectly honest, I hadn't noticed. I usually just toss my clothes down the laundry chute in the hall. Paris was shouting the collars of my shirts and chilling with Brianna when Amy came and asked if she wanted some company. Now I don't know what was said before this, but apparently Amy requested to do my shirts and Paris told her she already has them, and to do my dad's collars with Bri. Amy didn't want to do dad's collars, she wanted to do my collars, and Paris told her that she could just watch then, because she was doing my collars. Now keep in mind what follows is all second hand. Amy apparently gets annoyed and asked Paris, "What is this, anyway?" Brianna said she sounded snarky when she asked it. Paris asked her what she meant and Amy asked about her pawing around behind me like some stray. Paris then said something like, she's not the one who strayed, or something. And that Amy should worry less about what she's doing, and more about herself. Which started a big argument. Apparently Paris thinks that Amy's been strutting around trying to establish her dominance, or something. Trying to pretend to be the perfect wife who is on it and doing the thing, but is acting entitled. Paris said that Amy's threatened by her because she's got the heart of a cheater and thinks everyone else has that same heart, and if she knew me at all she wouldn't be posturing and demonstrating like some bitch trying to mark her territory. Brianna said that Amy was prepared to take that until Paris added that I wouldn't be so quick betray my vows just to feel good about myself. Which apparently got Amy to slap Paris. This started a physical altercation. Now, I was out with my dad and Bast at this time and my mom is who broke up the fight. I didn't hear about the fight till a whole week after it happened. My mom had convinced Paris that maybe she should spend some time with London at their new place and let me and Amy be alone. So up until Saturday, I didn't know anything about the fight. I had thought the week had been great, though Amy was extra affectionate. I had taken to someone's advice to treating Amy like we were dating again and have frequently tried to let her know I didn't need her to jump back into the wife role. My mom told me that I should probably handle my clothes myself, which I took as a sign she didn't want to do them, as I thought it was my mother who was doing laundry. So I had been handling all that and picked up the chores Paris had when she was here. The other day, I lost my battle with lust with her. We were working out together in the basement and she's doing all this bending shit, ass in the air, all that. I will admit she was most likely demonstrating, but I'm a human being and I only got so much resolved. So, yeah, no, that sort of happened right then and there. Like, I know no one wants to hear this, but went at it for like 20 to 30 minutes. And I can't even say we made love. Nope, this was me losing the battle to savage inside of me. If I'm being honest, it felt great while doing it. But I felt like shit afterward. Amy was not happy that there was no talk or cuddling afterwards, cause I just felt like I ducked up and left for a walk. When I came back I told her the truth, that though that was some of the best sex I'd ever had, I think it was a mistake as I feel like we need to slow down and work on ourselves more. I admitted it's hard not to want to relax and jump back into a routine like nothing ever happened. Which she didn't understand. If that's what made me feel better, then why not pursue that normalcy? Which I admitted made me feel good at first, then terribly uncomfortable later. Like I'm being lulled into a false sense of security. She then cried and said she didn't know what more she could be doing. I told her she just needs to maintain. It's a process. What we need is time and consistency. This is what led to her breaking down later in the night when she wanted me to come sleep in the bed with her. No sex, just wanted to feel me next to her again. I refused and she had a mini meltdown. I stayed with her and talked to her, sitting on the bed. She cried herself to sleep. The next morning, which was this past Friday, I was in the laundry room shouting the collars of my shirts. She came and wanted to help me, but I told her I would shout my own shirts. She insisted she could do half, but I reminded her about the whole wifely things, and that I should be taking care of me and she should focus on herself. I asked her if she'd been keeping her journal, though I admitted I had not been keeping mine, trying to change the subject. But she asked why I let Paris do wifely things and not her. I told her Paris doesn't do wifely things. She brought up the shirts and I told her, cause I didn't really know, that my mom shouted my shirts. She accused me of lying and I told her that's something stupid to lie about. And it started a huge argument. She was angry and asked why I would not go to couples therapy with her, but I did that group thing with London and Paris. I told her straight up that London and Paris were dealing with their own thing, cause she don't know about the abuse with their dad. And that they therapist had wanted me, my uncle, they mom, and both of them in a group session and I agreed. I told her that's different from not being ready for couples counseling. Right now my therapist is the only person I talk to. I can care only about myself and my well-being. That I don't have to consider what they went through, how they gonna react, what's the long-term effect, and then keep my feelings to myself for the sake of others' feelings. In my therapy I let it all hang out and really have a safe space to have my own personal fears and issues addressed. I'm not ready to share that and I don't really want our couple counselor to be my therapist or hers. I feel like they would be a bit biased. I mean, yeah, I would do couples sessions with them, just so they can get a better idea of the big picture, but I don't want them to be the go-to. I asked her straight up if she is threatened or jealous of the twins. And told her that it's ridiculous and for every goddamn reason. I also told her that she had no business being jealous of anyone as I have always been dedicated to her. She broke down crying and saying that she wanted to go home, and that here she had to share me with everyone else. That's when I may have ducked up, as I told her that we're only here because of her bad decisions, and that if she can't be made to share my time when everybody else, when she was sharing the most intimate part of herself with the entire ducking world. She then accused me of just waiting to throw that in her face, which I said, if she thinks that then she don't know me. I got mad and wanted to storm off, but she cut me off apologizing, saying she's just angry and stressed and knows she deserves that. I told her I needed some space and drove off and spent the rest of the day out around Mayfair. When I got back I had the Council of Women waiting for me. Amy was in my room, hadn't left all day. Auntie and Mom were not pleased with how I handled it, and Brianna had come up halfway through to tell us about what happened with Paris. Which my aunt finally found out why Paris and London hadn't been around all week. My mom and aunt argued over whether or not it was healthy for us all to sit down and talk, and my mom made Bri and Aunt Joyce angry by suggesting that maybe Paris and London's relationship with me might be detrimental to me fixing my relationship. They got upset with me cause I said that if it was between my wife and my cousins, they know what I would pick, but I did not think it was that serious. It wasn't a pleasant conversation. Afterwards I decided to go to talk to Amy and reiterate that we are working on us and promised to set up couples counseling with her therapist and then mine this coming week. I told her if she had a problem with Paris and or London, then I would make an effort to limit that contact, but I wanted her to know that this was not my house and I could not decide who could or could not be there. She said she didn't want me to stop having my cousins around, cause she realize I'm being a big brother to them. My mom apparently gave her an abridged version of that situation. She says she was panicked because I don't smile at her like I smile at my cousins. I told her I don't love them like I love her, and so I'm not as afraid of them hurting me as she can. She's much closer to me. She can do way more damage and that scares me. Knowing how much damage she can do and that she's capable of doing it. It's one of the hardest things to reconcile. She apologized for being a bitch, and said she tried to do better. I let her fall asleep on my lap, before leaving the room. I called Paris and we talked. She says she understands what Amy's going through and feels bad for her, but is also angry at her. She keeps acting like nothing happened. I asked if she would mind staying away for a few days and she surprised me with a yes, she minded, but would do it anyway. I thanked her and told her that I was proud of her being mature about this. She said she was proud of me and says Amy is lucky to have someone love her like that, and that she respects my decision to my wife first, even given what she did. She said she'll be spending time with London, who apparently is being very venomous about their exile. I asked to speak to her, but she said she wasn't emotionally ready for that, and would talk to me later. So yeah, that's where we are. Sorry I haven't updated in a while, but this has been a more trying time than I anticipated. I'll start by saying that it's good to hear from you again. I'm sorry that you're dealing with all of this. Obviously, all of my comments are based on what you've shared. I'm sure there is a lot that we don't know about. With that said, I have a few observations. First, is that they all handled it. There was an issue, honestly a fairly big issue if it got physical, and even though it took place all around you, the people in your life all handled it. Not only did they not drop it in your lap to fix it for them, they specifically tried to protect you from the fallout. This is a big step and I hope that you see that. This is an example of the goodwill that you've built and the fruit of all of your effort to support the emotional well-being of your loved ones. In particular, Paris is showing remarkable maturity and growth. Please take some time to acknowledge that. Another observation about Paris and her maturity, she is absolutely right about Amy. Your wife is upset that you won't sleep with her, or that you don't smile at her, or that you aren't ready for couples counseling. Those are all signs that she is feeling entitled to those things. Which is a sign that she is still trying to minimize what she has done, or that she still does not understand the true impact, and she does not yet feel true remorse. She is sad, that's true. She is sorry that it happened maybe. She is definitely sad that she got caught and there have been consequences. But true remorse doesn't ask for you to get over it. True remorse doesn't want anything from you except your own healing. She is not there yet. She feels like you are punishing her because she misbehaved. That is worlds away from her owning her own behavior and taking the steps on her own to support your personal healing. If you do couple counseling, please make sure that the therapist specializes in infidelity and ask them specifically about how they measure success. Do not see someone whose goal is to recover the marriage. The goal should be to help you each navigate the fallout of the infidelity in a safe and healthy manner. If that results in reconciliation, then so be it. But that can't be the primary goal, or everything will be aimed at pushing you to get over it, sweep it under the rug, and move forward without really addressing the true issues. And that would be disastrous. Talk to your IC before you do anything about CC/MC. Edit, fixed an autocorrect error. Make sure you reiterate to Amy why you're taking things so slow. She doesn't seem to have the full understanding. The other comment has more of it covered. Keep staying strong, flexed biceps. LOL. I had thought the week had been great. Men. When it comes to women we're clueless. As usual. Smile. No matter, dude, you're still my hero. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.